The European Superstock 600cc Championship round 5 at Brno, and we've already had a delay to the start after a pretty major accident on the warm-up lap, in which one rider in the long drop down from turn 9 to turn 10 suddenly slowed and held up his hand in the middle of the track and got hit hard from the back by another machine that was then catapulted end over end and burst into flames. The impact punctured the rear wheel of the bike that was hit, and so we're lacking 2 people on the grid. We think it's Nelson Mayor's Yamaha and the number 18 machine of Christian Giammarino, a 17-year-old from Genoa who had qualified on the front row of the grid.
Well, certainly, Jack, those were the 2 that didn't make it back on the grid, so we reckon it was those.
So the remaining 24 riders then on the grid for this, the 11 laps of Brno on a beautiful, blissful Saturday evening in the Czech Republic. The lights go on. When they're off, they're away, and a good start by the man on pole position, number 13, Dino Lombardi. Oh, but he get out of my way, why don't you, as they head down to the long right-hand first turn. That was a brisk move, moving right across from right to left to grab the whole shot into this beautiful Gerrard's-like right-hander.
Yeah, somebody from the second row, I think.
One man who did qualify on the second row of the grid, I think it is number 10, Calero Perez.
Yes, it is, yeah.
And, but Perez has been stuffed into turn 3, and one of the men who went through there was Dino Lombardi, the man who was on pole position. And Lombardi tried to cut through into the lead as they go through the first major chicane at turn 4.
That's 52, is that De Welts?
And I think it might be De Welts who's at the front. And it's got a very Lowlands colour scheme about it, that machine. Number 52, Gautier De Welts, 17-year-old from Belgium on the team MTM RT Motorsports R6, leads the way.
It is, it's like he's painted it with just something he had left over from another job.
But haven't you noticed how Dutch and Belgian teams often somehow look that way in their colour schemes?
Yeah.
Behind him, the bright, conspicuous, luminous number 13 there of Dino Lombardi cutting through to the lead. So Dino Lombardi on the Martini course Yamaha, 21-year-old from Benevento, takes the lead. But I think he's got some company in this front 3 already just threatening to break away slightly. You wouldn't expect them to, because Jed Metcher and Josh Day, Australian and American respectively, you would expect to be in the mix here.
Hang on. Is the 3 going to break away? How do you work that out?
Well, there was momentarily there was a gap. All right, then it was a figment of my imagination. We're on there, and it's been cut back, I beg your pardon, from 11 to 10 laps. We're on the first lap of 10 as they come howling up the hill. Of course, there's 2 long, steep climbs here, each of them following a fast chicane. So the rider's always looking to get a good exit from these particular chicanes, and then hauling along the straight. Here comes Dino Lombardi. He's the one who's broken clear on his own. So Lombardi, who currently lies in 3rd place in the championship, he hasn't had a race win yet. 2 4th places and a 2nd, but not a race win. He leads De Welts, Calero Perez, Jed Metcher of Australia in 4th place ahead of Josh Day of the USA, Riccardo Russo, one of the regulars in the Italian Superstock Championship, in 6th place ahead of Michael van der Mark, who won the opening round at Assen, and Romain Lanous has made a blistering start.
Jed Metcher has up the inside into 2nd now. He's making headway in quite a big way.
So Jed Metcher riding number 3 on another of the MTM RT Motorsport team Yamaha R6s has burst through into 2nd place. So Metcher, a race winner at Motorland Aragon. He needs to make some headway at the moment, James, because Dino Lombardi is just cleared off at the moment. He's really in determined form for Martini course.
Yep, I've got a bit of faith. Metcher looks like he's able to catch him to me. Now he's got a little bit of clear track.
You've always quite favoured the Weasley-faced Australian, haven't you?
I like him, yeah, purely because I got chatting with him in the paddock at Assen, and I really like the kind of cut of his jib, I think would be the way to put it. He's just a nice lad, and we saw him have a good race there. I think Assen, where did he end up? He was, 3rd.
Finished 3rd. That's right. He was. We didn't actually televise that race. We watched it from out in the infield, and it was a really terrific contest, a pulsating contest. And we've got a call. Romain Lanous has gone down. This could mean a change in the championship lead. Lanous was leading the championship by 20 points from the aforementioned Australian Jed Metcher. If Jed even stays second right now on bike number 3, he will draw level with the Frenchman in the championship standings. Now that was a surprise.
In fact, they'll be level exactly on points, having had exactly the same results at different rounds.
Yeah. So 13 Lombardi, second place number 3, Jed Metcher. So Lombardi crosses the line to complete 2 laps. And a strong ride there in 4th place, number 4 on the Revolution Race Days Kawasaki, Josh Day from Orlando in Florida.
He's not going to be 4th long, he's just taking 3rd.
He's just nicked through to 3rd place, so Jed Metcher on the move.
Josh Day is on the move.
Sorry, Josh Day on the move, Jed Metcher just ahead of him, so Day is after Metcher now. So at the moment we have Italian leading Australian and American, with Belgian net. Whoops, Daisy.
And
Jed Metcher makes a big mistake.
I don't know. That was a weird one. That was a really weird one.
Oh, James, now he's truly thrown away his chance there of levelling it at the top of the championship. And you know, I think Werner Damon will be a bit miffed at that if it was indeed rider error.
I don't know. It was a weird one to go that wrong into a corner without help from anybody else. I'm not sure whether. Maybe got a false neutral or something like that. We certainly went winging off the track fairly quick.
Do you know, Romain Lanous will be crying tears of joy right now. He won't be able to believe his luck.
That's it, and that's what it is, and sometimes championships work that way.
What, number 84, Riccardo Russo, showing up strongly right now for Italy. Riding the team Trasimeno Yamaha, another of the regulars in the Italian CIV Superstock 600 Championship. Josh Day then has managed to break through into 2nd place, but isn't able to maintain the pace of the leader right now, partially because he's coming under a fair bit of pressure from number 52, Gautier de Veltz.
Take that.
Seesawing round here. Look, just checking back down for you. Josh Elliott in the points. He suffered a shoulder injury, the young Ulsterman, at Misano. Rode in some discomfort to scrape some points together at Motorland Aragon. Currently lying in 14th place on his Yamaha.
Yeah, lots has happened to the Elliots. They've been brought into trucks, been gassed and...
Josh's dad, Jules, thankfully, just woke up, thought he heard something that woke him up when they were parked in a lay-by in the south of France after Motorland Aragon, and it was indeed some guys armed with whatever it is they arm them with, canisters or whatever, that pump gas into the vehicle while people are asleep and then nick everything out of the bag.
While they're unconscious, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, he can look after himself, Josh's dad. You won't want to get collared by him, I'll tell you.
No, they fled very quickly when Jules said, I just bellowed at them out of
and off they went.
And that's it, they fled. Oh, and there's some novel lines being taken round here, James, in an attempt to pick up a place or two.
There always is with these boys.
Josh Elliott has moved to 13th place ahead of the teenage Dane, Schacht.
Yeah, and I thought that, you know, Jed Metcher has disappeared from the timing screen, and I reckon he would be on here somewhere had he made it back. He could have got back to the track, and I think there was something wrong with that bike.
Really?
Honestly, yeah. The way he went winging off the track so quick, it just looked like there was something wrong with that bike, and it certainly is not out there now, and he would be if he'd have got back to the track. Matt
Davies down in 21st place after showing up pretty respectably during the course of last year's British 125 GP Championship, the 15-year-old Australian. James, that kind of begs the point. If you had some young whippersnapper up your wing who you thought showed a fair bit of promise, would you prefer in the present climate to be steering them along the 125 route, or perhaps getting them earlier onto a 600?
I think 125 route was more expensive. I think if you want to live the dream and believe that your kid can someday be a MotoGP champion, the 125 route is the way to go. But I think if you're looking at your kid being a professional rider, making a living out of bikes, this is probably easier route to doing that, I would say.
Okay, so which one would you choose?
Yeah, I was pretty non-committal. These. That'd be in these, I think.
So we cross the line, 4 laps complete. Lombardi leads the way pretty handsomely from Josh Day, number 4. And all the time we've got these little lines being shown. De Veltz and Russo, Calero Perez and Krajčí of the Czech Republic. And that number 19 machine of Tomáš Krajčí, the 20-year-old from Žilina, on the TK Racing Slovakia R6. He's the one who's producing those really novel lines. He's desperate to get himself a bit higher up. There's number 8, Joshie Elliott, just ahead of number 64, Riccardo Cecchini of Italy on his Triumph Daytona 675. So Elliott, who went off pole position and had a brilliant ride here on this his race days Kawasaki 12 months ago, just sneaking up the points, currently in 13th.
Yeah, and I think that was your man Krajčí going in front of Calero Perez for 5th now.
Number 60, Michael van der Mark, is just hovering there in 7th place. He was the winner at Assen in the opening round of that pulsating opening round when he beat Romain Lanous and Jed Metcher.
Ain't going to win this.
It's not looking like it. I think there's only one man who's going to win this, and this could be his first victory of the year on the Martini course Yamaha. Turned 21 on May the 10th. Finished 15th in this series with a best of 6th in Assen last year, Dino Lombardi. I beg your pardon, can I just rephrase that? He finished 15th in 2009 with a best of 6th place in Assen, 3rd in the European 600 Superstock last year, but interestingly, never actually won a race, and so far hasn't done yet this year. This could just conceivably be his first victory as he approaches the halfway stage.
You know what I put that down to?
What?
The hideous... that's Russo, and I think that's Russo now got the business from Krajčí. I think he has. Yep. That's 19 in front of 84. Krajčí up to 4th.
So Krajčí is really, he's really determined on this. How did he do this then?
That's not him.
No, that was a different one. Here he goes.
That's how he did it.
Oh, back it up until you've scared the man into submission. That's how you do it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Lombardi, I reckon he hasn't won before now because them hideous, wobbly, hideously painted wheels that make my eyes go funny. Get some proper wheels on it.
This is his 19th European Superstock 600 race. He's had 4 podiums. Assen, Magny-Cours, Assen twice, Magny-Cours, Brno and Valencia and Nürburgring. So he's certainly enjoyed a flush of podium success here in Brno, and now at the halfway stage he leads the way.
Extravagant wide lines from Josh Day 2nd and others.
Number 43, Stéphane Egier from the Antibes, the Frenchman on the Team Aspi YZF6. There is number 13, Lombardi. Is the gap just beginning to creep down at the front?
Is it doing it quick enough though?
Well, it's
5 laps to go.
2-second gap and we're at the halfway stage. Probably not. On the last lap though, he was close. He was 0.4 of a second quicker, being pushed along by Gautier de Veltz. What these neat, snappy little 600s are making me realise here is that they don't have that rather helpful number painted on the underbelly of their fairing like the Superbikes do.
No, they don't, and that's one thing that's got a lot more difficult to spot as the bikes go around. All the numbers, the organisers not so bothered now about number, colour, or where it is on the bike or anything like that. You can have any kind of style, so it's really difficult to spot the numbers. You kind of go more off colour schemes now.
When you remember those beautiful decals that used to adorn the side of a fairing. Yeah. Here we are, look at this, James. 4 laps to go out of 10. Lombardi crosses the line ahead of number 4, Josh Day. I think that Day's 1.7 seconds, you're right, he might not be doing it quick enough. Another couple of tenths quicker on that lap. He's just clipping away at Dino Lombardi's advantage.
Fastest lap of the race so far was that lap from number 19, Krajčí there. He is going, that boy.
And what was that lap time?
2:75.
7.524. And I don't understand how, but Patrick Vosterek of the Czech Republic on 100 in 2008 set a scalding lap of 2 minutes 6.694, which no one ever seems to have got near.
No, it's true. The bikes haven't changed that much, Jack, from then. These are all stock 600s, and the models don't change as often as they used to do. Yamaha being the most kind of prolific in this class.
Oh! And that was Calero Perez who was getting set up there, sat up by Stefan Egier.
Yeah, it was.
The Frenchman. There's Lombardi, there's Josh Day. That gap is closing. Ricardo Russo. Number 60, Michael van der Mark. Josh Elliott has got pushed back to 14th place by Cecchini, moving back the Trive Daytona 675 back up to 13th. Last point at the moment in the hands of number 6, Richard de Tournay of France, on another of the team Aspie R6s. Meantime, at the front, Josh Day working hard to try and get back on terms. He's a very cool, quiet, quietly spoken lad, Josh Day. He's not your typical American.
Now watch for Krajčí, number 19, have a go at De Velds, because I don't think it's long in coming now.
Krajčí's desperate to get on the podium here in front of the home crowd, isn't he? Look, he's straining every muscle there. 19, Tomáš Krajčí, 20-year-old on the TK Racing Slovakia R6. Here comes Lombardi, 3 laps to go. Josh Day with his head down, forcing hard. De Velds with his hands full and his mirrors full of Tomáš Krajčí. Krajčí goes for that narrow line into the first turn. Oh dear. Well, he must know this track well enough, James.
You think so?
He must figure it could work eventually in his
I think it is going to work.
On that last lap, Day cut another almost half a second out of Lombardi.
He did.
And De Velds set another fastest lap, 2 minutes 7.9.
His fastest lap.
Sorry, his fastest lap.
Yep.
43, Stefan Egier has nosed past Van der Mark, and once again the gap has closed up between 2nd, 3rd and 4th. There's 3 guys scrapping for the rostrum now.
Yeah, De Velds has had to go because he's got the attention of Krajčí right behind him.
Ricardo Russo runs wide, and that gives number 43 Egier the chance to go through. And this, the battle, the scrap for the podium places. We've got 2.5 laps to go. Josh Day looked to have broken clear, but De Velds has got pushed back onto his rear fender by that the home boy from the Czech Republic.
Yeah, I don't think Krajčí's going to take any prisoners here this last lap. I can see Krajčí doing a kind of podium or bus move here.
I've just realised he's got a Shinya Nakano helmet on.
I tell you what, when he's going that...
Oh, wow! Number 52, De Velds, he's got some kind of line, so he's getting some grip tight to the turns.
Yeah, and actually Krajčí, the man in 4th, 3rd in that group, is actually holding himself up because he's going that tight into the corner. He's trying to get under De Velds. It's actually costing him time mid-corner and coming out.
Now, was Lombardi giving a confident glance over his shoulder, and has he got this all under control, James? What do you reckon? Because it's 2 laps to go yet, you know.
Yep, he's looked back quite a bit. As Lombardi, I've got to say, I don't think they're just quite doing enough to catch him, I've got to say. They've got kind of attention from each other, you know, and they know that, you know, they're going to be kind of defending a little bit, maybe not just focused on catching number 13, Lombardi.
Howling down the main straight, once again, Krajčí has a look.
He's not good enough. I don't think he's good enough on the brakes, you know.
No.
I can just see him having a lunge, I've got a feeling.
Could end in tears.
Well, it normally does in this class. That's why we like it.
Lombardi, Day, De Velds, Krajčí at the front at the moment. They're the 4 absolute breakaways ahead of Egier and Ricardo Russo. Checking back downfield, we've got Van der Mark, Calero, Perez, Choco, Schatz, Kovena, Cecchini, Nestorovic and Josh Elliott with De Tournay, the last point scorer, and De Velds thinking about it. Josh Day getting some real...
And they are catching,
they're winding in Lombardi.
No question of that. Day, the lone Kawasaki. Big gaggle of Yamahas there. It's going to, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a good last lap this, Jack. I can see it. He keeps looking back as well, he knows they're coming.
So Lombardi, can he hang on for his first ever win in this category after 2 years of trying? Had those 3 rostrums last year, including a 3rd place here at Brno, but he's never broken his race-winning duck.
There might be something else broken on this.
13, Dino Lombardi leads the way, and certainly that head-on shot cuts the gap, but rather more than it actually is. Oh dear. And then this, as they exit the fast chicane. Back onto the start and finish line using some of the AstroTurf. 1 lap to go. The final lap of the European Superstock 600 Championship race here at Brno on the Saturday evening.
Couple of tenths again. The following pack took out of Lombardi. Just got enough, I think, though, Jack.
Perhaps this was why he's never won races, James. He's kind of succumbed a bit in the latter stages.
Definitely slowed down compared to the group behind him, but they've got their own kind of battle going on now, and they're going to have to start riding. Here comes De Veldt.
Looks underneath, not quite enough. That's through the enormous first chicane.
Where's Krajčí going?
Oh dear. And then they start the downhill plunge all the way down into the valley, herring down to turn 5.
They're with him.
They are certainly making a race of this. The final lap, we're about a third of the way through the final lap here, and Dino Lombardi coming under some pressure on his Martini course Yamaha. Josh Day is
riding good, isn't he?
He's pretty smart on his changes of direction round here on that Kawasaki.
And there's lots of them.
He's right with him.
Yeah.
I think Day's in a position to launch an assault here. I wonder if he's been giving it any thought as to where he might do it.
I think he's only going to get one chance. It's going to be the end of the lap before he actually gets up to the back wheel of Lombardi, so he's just going to have to go where he catches him.
Lombardi's suddenly developed the Fabian Foray fetish of years back.
You would be, wouldn't you? Long climb up now.
And this is so critical, the exit here and getting the drive up the hill. There's just 2 massive chicanes to go with the two uphill drags in the middle. There's the first uphill drag gone. There's the first of the chicanes.
It's going to be a lunge. It's going to be a lunge, Jack, if it is going to be a win for Josh Day, because he's just far enough behind Lombardi.
Lombardi tries to defend to the left, but he's got the speed up the hill. Surely, if he keeps it clean through this chicane. And look at Krajčí going for the inside line on De Veldt as they go into the final turn. He forces the Belgian wide, sits him up. The Belgian almost high sides. Day's there in 2nd place, and the homeboys grabbed 3rd place.
I told you. I knew something was going to happen.
Look at Gautier De Veldt beating his crash helmet there in 4th place, as if to say, "You stupid boy." And across the line now, oh, look at this, blanket finish. And that was number 99, Tony Cavena on the Naito Racing Team R6. Launching himself across the line, finished in 10th place, which may bring a glimmer of a smile to his team manager, whose name I temporarily forget, a former Grand Prix racer. But that was a great race win for Dino Lombardi. 2nd place, Josh Day, and 3rd place for an exultant Tomáš Krajčí. But for Lombardi, he's broken his duck. He's won at last in the European 600cc Championship here at Brno. The result of an enthralling 5th round of the European Superstock 600 Championship here at Brno. Dino Lombardi clings on from American Josh Day. Tomáš Krajčí bulldozes his way through Gautier De Veldt on the last turn to snatch 3rd ahead of Egea. And the rest, with Tony Cavena riding for Patrick van der Goorberg's team, grabbing 10th place just from Nestorovic, Schacht, Cecchini, Josh Elliott of Northern Ireland, and Richard de Tournai rounding out the point scorers, with Australian Matt Davies debuting in 19th place. So the championship standings, and Romain Lanous crashed out there, but still has a 10-point advantage over Dino Lombardi. And then Jed Metcher remains marooned on 61 in 3rd ahead of Van der Mark, and American Josh Day moves 5th place in the table. Josh Elliott 14th in the race, and joint 13th in the table with Tomáš Krajčí, who so brilliantly snatched 3rd place at the end of that race. A terrific reception for Tomáš Krajčí, who finishes third in his home round of the European Superstock 600cc Championship. Second place for Orlando's American export Josh Day. And a win, the first in his career from last year's third place man in the championship. Dino Lombardi just hung on long enough on the Martini course Yamaha to make it to the top step of the podium in his 19th ever European Superstock 600 race. He also very much in contention for the CIV Italian Superstock 600 Championship. And tears here amongst the onlookers. I think that's probably, it's either Dino's mum or it's Tomáš Krajčí's mum, I reckon. And the CEO of the Brno circuit, Ivana Ulmanova, presents the trophies. And for Team Martini course, well, that's a duck broken because Dino has been racing with them for a couple of years now, and finally he's cracked the top step and won here at Brno. So congratulations Dino Lombardi, at last he's a winner on the European Superstock 600 Championship. Catch all the action with us from Brno here on Eurosport tomorrow. Bye-bye.